Good morning. Today's video is a continuation of yesterday. There were a lot of questions I was asked. A lot of people contacted me and asked me a series of questions, which is not a problem. I answered them all. What I put to you yesterday is the facts, the constitutional reality of the fact that this country is not operating lawfully, and the politicians know it. They're trying to lie, cheat and steal you, off you, take all your land, take everything you've got, make you slaves under their control system. It doesn't matter what federal politicians do, because as of yesterday, if you watch the video, you know there are no lawful federal politicians. What you've got there is a bunch of traitors who either that knowingly or unknowingly are sitting in our parliament without authority. To get authority, they have to have an election state by state, so the representatives of those states, lawful states, come together and form a federal parliament. Anything else is a lie, it's fraud. There goes all your homosexual laws, all your pedophilia, everything you've covered up, the treason, the stealing of all our public utilities and putting them into businesses, trading companies, owned by who? Political parties? Or have you floated them on the world market as well? We don't need to prove that, but if we drag you into a court, you will prove that. You will answer the questions put to you, and you will stand trial for treason and fraud on the people of this country. Now, at the state level, there are no lawful state parliaments. Western Australia has never had one. So, dodgy Roger, when you told Culleton that you will remove that Aboriginal Heritage Act, you did. Good boy, except you turned around and look at that, swung straight around to the 1972 Act and reinstated that. How'd you do that? No parliament, no nothing, no questions, no debates, but you did that. How do I know? Little birdie told me what you did. Smart, if you can call treachery smart. But at the end of the day, Western Australia, its constitution is not being lawfully, and the lawful one is not being used. Hasn't been since Federation. So anybody who tries to change that, say, oh, you've got to give evidence of that, no. When it goes to court, and it will go to court, and it won't be international court, and you will stand trial for treason, every single one of you. If you can't figure, if you finance these political parties, you're part of the problem. You're guilty of the offences they commit. You conceal what they do, you're guilty of the offences they commit. I'm well aware that some of my friends, and it upsets me to see that they could stand trial for criminal offences because they did no more than they could. But my belief is you could step up and go a lot further, and you're going to have to, because if you don't, you're going to become party to all these criminal offences by association, and the fact that you're financing them. Without it, they couldn't do it. It's no good putting Libby up, Dodgy Roger up, or any of these people up to sit in our parliament, because until every state's constitution is put in place, none of the states are lawful. You see, you're not understanding. At Federation, the states did not exist. There was nothing there. There were no colonies except the Commonwealth, the colony of the Commonwealth of Australia, when it was established. It's a colony under Clause 8. It isn't an independent sovereign nation or any other of the lies that you tried to put up. None of it's true. It's all lies. All smoke, mirrors and lies. Someone says there's no sound. Hang on, I'll just have a look, because everything's 100%. It's all on, so I don't know why there's no sound. Up the volume again. Well, I don't know what's going on with the volume, except the clowns are turning it down because we've got a latest speaker we could get hold of, and it's hooked up, and it doesn't seem to be working. Monica Jones can hear. They're saying there's no volume. I don't know what's going on with it. See, there's 3, no sound. I checked down the bottom, it's 100%. It's on. I don't know what's going on there. Just,
We'll have to upload one after.
Alright, we'll upload one after this. It'll have the full volume on it, because we're recording doubly here to counter what they're doing. We can't change what the situation is. They're going to keep fiddling with it. Anyway, the fact of the matter is there is no federal law in this country until we have lawful states. Those states must be created under 107, 108 and 109 of the Constitution. Their constitutions continue subject to the Commonwealth Constitution and altered in accordance with their Constitution. Is it working now? Mic in. What did you do? Alright. Okay, we're back on the air apparently. Hopefully we got sound. Can somebody confirm that that's correct? We got sound? Yeah, okay. It's coming through now. Oh, there's no sound, it's just quiet. Well, we re-plugged everything in and checked it. It's all in properly now. Only thing that can stop it is them, and we'll load it again onto the Facebook so you can get all the sound. Right, now, the thing is, there is no federal law until there is 6 lawful states. 6, and we don't have 6. We don't even have 1. By 1975, every state had removed their constitutions and replaced them with other ones. Negates the whole lot. With the exception that Western Australia, thanks for those people that confirm you got sound, except for Western Australia, never ever put a lawful constitution in place. It's never been constituted. So, Dodgy Roger, your firearm laws, all your acts, your Aboriginal sites, whatever it is that you're trying to do, is all gone. Everything you've done is a lie and a fraud, and you're collecting wages of something that does not exist. There is no such lawful entity as the state. The Acts Amendment Repeals Court and Legal Practice Act is a nullity. There was nobody there to put it through, so it doesn't exist. There was no one there to confer with the parliaments of all the states to create the Australia Act. There goes your theories, Anne Toomey. Talk about false information, misinformation. If the law was fact, you'd be guilty of it all. Yeah, and you're not checking what you're doing. That's the problem. The fact is, all we have to do is ignore these elections, not walk away from them. Don't get your name signed off. Submit a letter to them. You've got all the political parties out at different places, especially in Geraldton. It's in Delaca Street. A whole bunch of clowns sitting under cover out of the sun like good little people, sprouting all their lies and crap about what they're going to do when they get in. No, we don't believe you anymore. Your policies are not law. If your policies, if you passed a law saying your policies you put up become law as soon as you put into Parliament, that would be good, but you're not going to do that. Because what you're saying is a pack of lies to suck people into listening to what you're saying and put it to, you go and tell us we're going to get this, we're going to get that, and you're not. Look at the gentleman up north, up near Kununurra. How many times, Roger Cook, has your stupid bunch of idiots, traitors, promised to put an MRI machine up there? No, they have to fly all the way back down here, either to Geraldton or to Perth, mainly to Perth, to get tests. Half the people that go into the Geraldton hospital with serious offences or serious ailments end up in Perth hospitals. They fly them there because there's nobody here to do it. You can't have a major operation here. Doesn't matter if you're in an accident, you need it, too bad. You've got to go to Perth because there's no resuscitation equipment here. Why? You say you're doing all this for our medical system. No, you're not. You're lying. Every single thing you are talking about, you are lying about it. You cannot tell the truth for 5 seconds. If you're not going to provide it, don't provide it. Look at the Bundiara Corporation. The state is building buildings on their property. Why didn't they build them out of the money granted to these corporations by the federal parliament? Don't worry, I'm not questioning the fact they should be built. They should, because you've closed all the hospitals and everything around here, so they have to come into Geraldton. Where the heck are they going to stay? But that's all right for the what you call Aboriginal people, the native people that are there that come in. They've got that for. Where's the one for the white people? Where is it? You don't discriminate? Like hell you don't. You've discriminated in what you've done. What you're building is absolute a necessity. But why are you building out of state taxes when it should have been built out of federal taxes? Instead of sending 1.5 billion to some town, to some country, a couple of billion to another, a couple of billion to another, all that money should come back to build these facilities for Australians. I get it. You want us to assist other countries, but it's not your business to do it. Our constitution says you'll return it to the states. You'll return it to the states per head of population. Why aren't you doing it? Look at all the homeless people. And as for you, Dodgy Roger, and your predecessor, why do you persist in boarding up almost 60 houses in this area rather than fix them for people to live in? And we've got people living in cars on the street, in tents, in paddocks. You're trying to kick them off properties because they're living in a caravan. They've got nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Why? Because you've got all the state houses boarded up. And who is the mysterious person named the same name as your predecessor that took possession of over 120 state houses across this state, had them rebuilt, and then you turn around then and sold them, all in the name of a person named McGowan? Was it your predecessor? If it was, he should be arrested and charged for what happened. But I don't know if it is, and there's no way of checking it this time. But I did know all the houses were in his name. And he paid for the reservations. He didn't do it out of the goodness of his heart to put people in it, because he never did that. They were sold, whoever did it. Your big problem it's got a heading here, you need to read it. Your live stream is experienced performance issues. Yeah, it's okay. Alright, now we got rid of that piece of rubbish. The issues today are exactly what they were yesterday. There is no states to have lawful elections. There is no lawful federal parliament. There is no lawful laws anywhere in this country except imperial law. We are, whether politicians like it or not, a self-governing colony of England until we the people change it. Nobody else can. So if you're sitting there and saying, oh, we can legislate, no you can't. And as for the police commissioner, I heard what you said. You do not pass regulations and directions and all the rest of the garbage. You do not assess people. If you do look at their records and they have a bad record, you must put them to the tribunal and remove their license that way. Has to be done according to law. You can't charge somebody for something and then turn around and say, oh, I don't like who you are or what you say, we'll just take it off you. You can't do that because they paid for it, and if you take their license away, you've stolen it. They paid for it. And why do we have to have a license to do anything? Either we have the right to carry a firearm, which we do, under the 1688 Bill of Rights. Read it and weep. Any person that's not suitable should be taken off it by a lawful law made under the laws of good governance. Fishing, we don't need a law to fish. If we take fish and then sell them, that is the law of good governance prosecuted. Stop your nonsense. Anyway, the main object of this is come election day. And by the way, all those people that are filling out documents at these stations with political parties there, everything you've done is unlawful. Yeah, if there is no law, then they can't do anything. That's the trouble. And there isn't any law. Thanks, Scotty. The problem we have is people are not listening. They sit there, yeah, I like that idea, and then go and vote because they don't want the hassle. You have to do something. And you have to get off your backside. All this early voting is just a con. I just can't do it, it's easy, so you just go and vote for them. No, you go and hand them a letter saying, I can't vote. Not now and not in the election. Because you don't have lawful candidates. Lawful candidates are selected by the governors of the state, and they create a pool of people. Nothing to do with political parties. Nothing at all. Yeah. They have no authority unless we give it to them, and we haven't. They're bluffing, and fear is their only tool. That's correct. They're lying to you. All I can reiterate is the fact what I said yesterday. Get a letter. Your first two names or one name, whatever, your surname, the fact that you're a man or a woman, went to the polling booth to vote. There were no lawful candidates because there is none. Not one. So you can't vote for any of them. If you vote, you're committing a crime. You become party of their criminal offences. Not that anybody within a brain is going to prosecute you, but why aren't the politicians prosecuted? Because we don't have Commonwealth Police, we have Federal Police, and they're not lawful. Yeah, someone just put a comment there about the Federal Reserve. Well, it's a foreign bank anyway. But then Social Security is Services Australia, is a company in Texas. Why? Where do they get their money from? Oh, they're allotted a certain amount from the budget. So they can screw us over and save all the money plus more by not giving us what we're entitled to have. We are entitled to a pension. And to that lady at the local federal member's office said, you're going to take us off us? No, you're not. Because we're paying for it. To take it is to steal. You're just lying. That's all you're doing is lying. And saying the pension is a gift. No, it's not. We paid for it since January the 1st, 1946. 7.5% tax. We pay for it. They can't means test that. And if we're means tested, how come the idiots sitting in our parliament unlawfully aren't means tested? The big problem is everything that's going on is criminal. I'm not going to rave on all day because either you're listening or you're not. And if you're not listening, then it's on your head. But what you've got to understand, every single politician that goes into that parliament and does nothing about the pedophiles, the thieves, the traitors, the liars and the frauds, is guilty of all those offences. You understand that? State or federal, it doesn't matter. The second you walk in there, you're required to swear the oath contained in our Constitution. Why? Because the Constitution says so, and we said we retain it. We retain the crown. That crown is the crown of England, not the crown of Australia for the Queen of Australia, King of Australia and all that bunkum, because that's all it is, lies. Vote correctly. Just put your documents in saying there is no one there, because there is no one lawfully there. And tell them when you walk past them, you people are unlawful. Oh, they'll jeer you, but say, yeah, have a nice day. See you in jail. We'll come visit you. That's where they all belong. And they are crime syndicates, Max. You got that right. Okay. Thank you. That's all I've got to say, because all I want you to do is not vote. So they have to have a lawful election. They have to. They can't just put idiots in there, because none of them and the Parliament's been prorogued. It's been dissolved. So none of them have any lawful right to be there anyway. None of them. There's no cabinets. And there's no emergency powers, Dodgy Roger. It doesn't matter what you and that idiot you call an Attorney General said. There are no lawful laws. None of them. So have a nice day.